In a recent episode of Maxx Crosby's The Rush podcast, Antonio Pierce discussed how he got his team ready to play the Chiefs before they pulled off their 20-14 Christmas Day upset in KC, which was the last loss. And, of course, Andy Reid says it's the turnaround for us. In the week before the game, Antonio Pierce expressed to his team that they need to hate the color red and showed them videos of famous boxing and MMA matches and how the NBA's Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Bad Boys, approached playing Hall of Famer Michael Jordan in the late 1980s with a tough defensive game plan devised by Coach Chuck Daly. And I have the clip right here, so we're going to play that.
You got the Jordan rules, and I'm calling now from now on, as long as I'm here, the Patrick Mahomes rules. So you remember when Jordan was going through it with the Pistons, all those guys in the 80s before he came Michael Jordan and Air Jordan, the Pistons used to whoop his. Anytime he came to the hole, elbows, filling them, love taps. We touched them. We in the head, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm touching you. So I show those guys Jordan getting his whooped.
So I think Pro Football Talk wrote a whole article today about how they think that the NFL will kind of review this and talk to the Raiders about this because apparently they've cracked down on a lot of this extra, maybe dirty type stuff, inciting dirty stuff since the whole bounty game with the Saints. How there's anything inciting dirtiness here. I think it's just more physical attitude he's trying to give a team that's been kind of forgotten over the last 2 decades. But JD, what are your thoughts on Antonio Pierce's messaging here to the team?
I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Not one bit. I mean, you do everything you can to motivate your guys to get the job done. I don't think he's sitting there saying they're targeting him, Patrick, in a way that is illegal or after the whistle. Now, if you're saying just touching him and bumping him and whatnot, I mean, that's going to happen on the plays anyway. All he's saying is just let him know that you're there all the time. And so psychologically, you want to try to get into your opponent's head. I have no problem with that whatsoever. It's what they say, all fair is in love and war, right? So it's war out there on the football field. That's the way it is. And so, you don't necessarily give all the niceties and things of that nature, all the friendliness. You can. So you could choose to be that guy. But the coaches ask you like, hey man, you want to go up there and just give him a little tug, a little bump, little jaw bump, just talking to him, jaw with him a little bit. You know what I mean? So I don't find there's anything wrong with it whatsoever. Now, if you're talking about late hits and all of those different things, totally different. That's a totally different thing. And I think you need to be investigated if you're saying those things. But Antonio Pierce is not saying that at all. He's talking about the type of the treatment that the Detroit Pistons gave Michael Jordan. When Jordan came in, they clobbered him. He came in the paint. You make him pay for it. You make him feel it. Okay, you bump it. You know what that did to Jordan? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what it did to Jordan. When they made it the Jordan rule, the Detroit Pistons decided to go after Michael Jordan. Okay, bumping him, hitting him, tearing him down and whatnot. Michael Jordan decided to change up his routine. He went in, he started lifting weights. He started getting better. He started learning how to deal with all those bumps and bruises. And guess what? He won championships against the bad boys. You know why? Because that made him better. That type of competition made him better. Crosby should know that. Crosby went to him, and Patrick told him, like, you woke up the wrong. That's what he told you. You woke up the wrong day. That's what happened. I'm here. Guess what, guys? I am here. Bring everything you need to bring. Bump me if you want to, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to pay for it. That's what's going to end up happening. And guess what? Hey, they got the better of the Chiefs that day. They got the better of the Chiefs. But guess what that did? We made the entire NFL pay for it. That turned it on for us, right? And so we benefited off of that. Hey, thank you, Antonio Pierce. Appreciate it. We should be thanking him. We should be congratulating him right now in awakening a sleeping giant. How about that? I'll go there with that part. Because now all of a sudden, Patrick and I was like, man, look, we got a butts kick. Now everything changes for us. Now this is we need to go inside having the closed door sessions with the players only, no coaches. If we're going to do this, we got to get it done now. We just got handed to us this past weekend. And it was embarrassing. And sometimes you need embarrassing moments like that to step your game up. Everybody needs a heart check, a gut check every once in a while. Thank you for the Raiders giving it to us, and then Antonio Pierce. I appreciate it. So that's why I go with it, this Marcus. That's the way I feel about it. How about that?
I like it. I see there's two. I have two reactions to this. So one reaction is thanks for the early bulletin board material, and on top of that, it's also giving us another reason, because Andy Reid even said it. That Christmas Day game was one of those games we came into that game. Oh, it's the Raiders. It kind of woke us up a little bit, right? Losing to them, it's oh man, this is a team we don't usually lose to. We lost to them on Christmas Day. This is going to make us make sure we're not sleeping on that game whenever we do play them next year. If that was the case, well, no, not anymore. They're giving this because they're talking about in that podcast how he's given the whole league a blueprint on how to beat the Chiefs. So like, it's not only they're talking about that, he's also giving that added fuel to the fire as well.
Well, I don't even think it's like the blueprint to beat the Chiefs. I think it's just something. I would be actually shocked if I don't believe every team is doing this. Look, when we went against teams, Coach Ramil or whoever the coach was would show us things on video. He would show us fights. I mean, he showed us Tommy Hearns and I think it was
Hagler Hearns.
Hagler, yes. Show that fight. The rounds that it went to, all the talk leading up to it, the punches being thrown. I mean, it was a brawl from the very beginning to the very end. And it was good to see that. Just going through, telling the story and getting guys mentally ready and prepared to going out slugging. It's a slugfest, okay? It ain't no pillow fights out there. Guys are going out there, man, to tear your neck off. You better be ready. So, yeah, if we came through tiptoeing in that game, it woke us up. And that's exactly what we needed. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. For us to win another Super Bowl, it took that. It's a catalyst to get us to where we needed to get to, Marcus. And, hey, I want to thank Antonio Pierce and the entire Raiders organization for doing your due diligence to get us where we needed to do. Cheers to you, baby. How about that?
The funny part about that is that after the Super Bowl, after we use the Raiders facilities, Reed texts Pierce saying, "Thanks for hosting us. Your facilities are beautiful, and thank you for waking us up on Christmas Day." And I think that's hilarious because I mean that's what he's going with.
That's right. It's true. So, we cut the lights off. We let the place like we got it. So,
and it's a flag in the middle of their field at the end of the game too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One thing on another thing that I do like with this, and this is maybe an unpopular opinion, and I think I've seen someone in the comments kind of hinting at what I want to get to with this. I think AP wants to pull Raider culture back, tough physical football, and that's the one thing I do like about this is the fact that Raiders are a historic franchise. Raiders and Chiefs, you can make the argument it's one of the best rivalries of all time in all sports. I think we had a talk about when Mad Dog Rousseau said it was the top 5 rivalry of all time, and I believe that. But like it's trying to bring back this kind of a rivalry between Raiders and Chiefs. Yeah, they've been a forgotten franchise over the last 2 decades, but Antonio Pierce is a guy who never played for the Raiders. He was a Giants pretty much his entire career, or the main part of his career. But he was a Raider fan growing up. He grew up watching the Raiders. I remember there was a whole story David Carr told about when the Giants played the Raiders. Someone scored in the Raiders end zone. He just and someone celebrated in their end zone, the black hole area. And Pierce is pissed off about it. He's like, yeah, no, don't be doing that. Don't be spiking the ball over there. Like, you gotta respect this franchise. And I think I'm not rooting for the Raiders by any means, but I do like that there is a little bit of this going on where it's kind of a renewed rivalry where it's been like Chiefs is beating the crap out of them and like, hey, they woke us up this year, and you know what? And they're still chirping about it. So it's like, okay, all right, are we bringing it back? Is it time to bring back Chiefs Raiders rivalry? And it could be maybe elements of that. I don't think they're going to beat us next year. I think because they beat us this year, we're going to go into it, take care of business next year, go 2-0 again to get back to that. But I do like the element of, hey, let's get this Chiefs Raiders rivalry thing going again.
I think you have to. I think Antonio Pierce was great for the Raiders to sign him as a head coach, because he is going to bring the whole air of that back, right? He's going to bring, everything that they were, what they're supposed to be, being, like you said, a hard-hitting physical team. He brings all of that there. He's got guys there to do it. They just needed somebody to bring them out of it. And it's great for football. It's great for the AFC West. It's great for our rivalry, now our competition, no doubt about it. And so The Chiefs are not going to back down for it. It just makes us better. It makes competition even better, especially in the AFC West, right? In the AFC overall. So no, that's great. You don't want to compete against people just knowing like, okay, it's just you trying to go into the game. Like you do need a little bit of that sauciness, okay, that rivalry, a little bit of that hate, disdain for others. You know what I mean? So, no, I like it. I think the guys will enjoy it. But like I said again, man, I'm glad he's the head coach over there. Antonio understands exactly what it means to be a Raider, as far as like growing up in that atmosphere and seeing it. So no better person could have been a head coach for that team other than Antonio Pierce at this time. So.
Yep.
They needed.
And also and that staff too. I don't know if you've seen the staff. They got Marvin Lewis over there. They brought in Joe Philbin, the old Miami Dolphins coach. They got a lot of good pieces there. I think Tom Coughlin may be helping out in some capacity on that team too. So I mean, it's just surrounding with some good guys who've been in the league for a while around these parts for a long time. And also too, forget the Raiders aspect of this. I'm happy Marvin Lewis is getting another shot to be a coordinator again or assistant head coach again, because for whatever reason, I don't know why. I think it was ridiculous that he lost that job in Cincinnati. They lived in the playoffs. Yes, they didn't advance. They lived in the playoffs for a good while, and they got rid of him, and then he never found a DC job anywhere else. And good for him for landing on his feet again.
Absolutely. Somebody recognized him his value. So
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. We see so many guys in this league come and go, JD, who are not talented guys for being coaches. And you see a guy who has the proof in the pudding, but yet for some reason he's not getting the job for whatever reason.
Yeah. Shameful.
It's shameful. All right, so we're gonna get into some of the rumors and the off-season stuff that's going on. I do wish the Raiders some luck next year, though, because you're starting the off-season and giving Pat some bulletin board material. So I wish them luck.
No, we don't. We don't wish you nothing.
Yeah.
Like was it Dave Chappelle? Wish all the bad things in the world happen to you. The haters ball. That's what that is.
Exactly. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.